Hey guys, welcome back to the Spin. My name's Katie.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Shafalika.
And today we'll be discussing the 2020 election results. So the results are in, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have won the election. Both President-elect and Vice President-elect gave speeches after their victory was announced. Shafalika, what were some highs or lows of both the speeches?
Honestly, I was very excited to see Madam Vice President-elect Kamala Harris give her speech. I love the fact that when she came out first, before Biden did, she was dressed in all white from head to toe to celebrate the female suffragettes, which is 100 years ago was when we started working on women's rights and the right for women to vote. And now we have our very first female vice president. And honestly, I am, for the first time, very, very moved to see a part of my culture in the White House and my heritage represented in a woman of great power, the second most powerful office in the world. I honestly, it didn't feel real, even when she was speaking, until she got to the part where she started talking to her mom, who passed away, I believe, in 2009 from cancer. Her mother was a very successful research doctor. She studied breast cancer. And her father was like a Stanford professor, a law professor or something. And she comes from so much, so many things that I can relate to as a woman of color, as a ambitious person, as having immigrant parents, valuing high education. You know, like, I guess the bottom line is, for me, with Kamala Harris's speech, I felt what representation feels like. I felt why it is important. And regardless of political affiliation, I was moved to see that the United States set that bar and broke that glass ceiling. So, I am just blown away by her speech. I found when she said that Joe Biden had the audacity to put a woman on the ticket, and the two of them on that presidential ticket had the most votes in American history, over 75 million and still counting. I just am blown away. I'm blown away. And when Biden came out running up the ramp to do his speech, the two of them fist bumped each other. And I don't know why, but that like took me back to Obama's administration, where like fist bumping finally became a cool thing in Congress. But Biden's speech was really powerfully delivered. I was impressed with how much energy and vigor he had delivering his points and talking about the main topics of what he's going to do. COVID-19, today on Monday, 2 days after his acceptance speech, 3 months before his term begins, he is already putting together a task force with full transparency. I watched the entire COVID task force meeting with all the doctors that him and Kamala were speaking to. It was amazing to see his priorities put there, because COVID is going to hit us really hard in this country this winter. And his speech about race relations, about the economy, about getting people back to a sense of normalcy, that's exactly what everybody needs, whether you voted for him or not. We need a sense of normalcy again, and we need our economy to come back. The bottom line is, though, I was really impressed with the way he handled the fact that Trump did not concede yet. He said, you know, even if you didn't vote for me, I am still going to be your president and work with you and for you. And Biden does have a lot of experience going across the aisle in Congress, becoming friends with John McCain, Lindsey Graham, and working with people that are diametrically opposed on so many political beliefs, but working together to get, you know, compromises and bills put out and work done. So for me, it was a win-win, win-win-win. And for the first time in a very long time, as an Indian woman, I felt I felt that feeling of representation. I didn't expect it to be so heartfelt, but it actually felt good. It felt real. And I didn't realize that is why it is so important. When people say representation matters, now I get it. I really do.
This is a testament to the struggles of every single woman that has been in the fight for years, even dating back as early as 1960 in my hometown in New Orleans, when Ruby Bridges had to endure hate just from trying to get an education because she was smart enough to be the first student to integrate in Louisiana public school system. Happened to be escorted by U.S. Marshals just because people said she was not good enough to get an education because of the color of her skin. This is a huge monumental thing. Like Shafalika said, this is representation. This is showing that not just women of color, but all women, that anything is obtainable in this country as long as you believe yourself and you give people a dream to believe in. I believe that, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say Senator, Vice President elect Harris. She did exactly that. She has inspired millions of little girls out here that were probably under the impression that the White House is an all boys club. You know, it says a lot for people that really grew up in the struggle and really came into their own. Strong women, it's like women like, of course, like Stacey Adams, AOC, that may follow in her footsteps. And she said it herself in her speech that she may be the first woman in the White House, but she will not be the last. When she said that, it radiated. People felt that. People feel what it's like to, it's like 2008 all over again. People feel what it's like to actually have hope, to know that basically there are barriers that are made to be shattered. There's nothing that's impossible. And in this land, your dream is achievable. That's what I mean by giving somebody a dream to believe in, is being a figure that basically this is all a possibility. And the fact that people can see this, they see themselves in Auntie Harris and Auntie Kamala, and able to press on and be like, hi, this woman can possibly be the next president, not just vice president. Now presidency is possible. And the fact that she even attributes her success to her mother, that says a lot about the it says a lot about the influence of a mother, and says a lot about the influence of the women in our lives. The fact that even still today, her mother has been deceased going on for 11 years now. And I'm pretty sure she wishes that her mother was here to witness it. But at the same time, that was definitely, I'm pretty sure she felt her mother with her in that process. Now, to Mr. Biden, however, I love the fact, well, Shafalika said, the fact that he didn't just address the people that backed him. He backed everyone as one cohesive nation. He backed everyone and say, I understand you, to people that may have voted for my opponent. I understand you may be disappointed right now, but we will get through this together. Just a pure acknowledgement, not being, what's the word? Not being insensitive to their plight, insensitive to their feelings. No, he's acknowledging the fact, yes, I understand you may be disappointed, but please believe in me. He didn't say those exact words, but it sounds like, honestly, you felt that. The fact that he wants to do right by not just people, but not just his people, but everyone as a whole, this country as a whole. It's time to heal. And that's exactly what he's looking for. And him and Vice President Harris, they've already got the ball rolling. They wasted no time in doing what they want to do and making their mark in history.
So Shivalaka, with the news of Biden becoming president-elect, President Trump has become more determined than ever to prove that this election isn't quite over. What do you think about his reaction on Biden winning? And in turn, do you think there could be a peaceful transition of power?
I think that's a great question, especially the peaceful transition of power part. as far as what I think of Trump's reaction to Joe Biden becoming president-elect, I was really hoping for a dignified concession speech. It is not constitutionally required for a president to do that. However, it is one key component to creating a peaceful transfer of power, like you said. And at this point, I don't think he's going to do that. As far as President Trump's reaction, when the news broke Saturday morning, Trump was golfing. And he got the call. He was notified while he was out on the golf course, and he remained out on the golf course for several hours. Maybe he needed that to relax, to get his mind right about his loss and how difficult that is for him. However, he went golfing again yesterday. And today, he's still taking a lot of time away from his response to this. He's just not acknowledging it, except for in the form of litigation. And even over the weekend, he was trying to conspire to create a stronger legal team that can, like in his words, be killers and go after this process of voter fraud in his mind that's been perpetrated across the country. However, I've been watching these litigations that began all the way as early as when Wisconsin got called Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, I believe Nevada, not Nevada, maybe Arizona and Georgia. There's litigation in all of these battleground states. Everything except for North Carolina that was still remaining on the board. And the problem with this is many of these cases have already been thrown out for lack of evidence or because they were hearsay. The judges themselves had these cases on live stream over Zoom calls on the internet for you to see. So it's a very transparent process. Now the legal defense that Trump is using is going after Philadelphia really hard and saying, and they're just making a lot of cases all at once. I agree, if there is voter fraud, do take it to court. And the argument coming out of Trump's campaign and Trump's office is that the media doesn't call elections, that they only the courts can do that. The courts so far have not seen any evidence worthy enough to turn over these votes and say, okay, well, even if you did win one case, does that change the voting record for that entire state? Does it flip the state back to red? No. This is a long drawn out process, and overall, I think this is a very, I'm just gonna say the same thing that other Republicans are saying right now. It's not dignified, and they're disappointed, and I'm disappointed in President Trump for behaving this way as well. Bottom line.
I will be disappointed if I didn't basically expect this type of behavior. To be honest with you, this is something that I've kind of expected. The fact that this man is okay with disrupting a 220-year-old tradition that has been established since Thomas Jefferson and John Adams. So this is everything this man has done so far during his presidency is disrupt the seat. He disrupted what it means to be in the Oval Office. And I don't mean to sound like I'm, digging in this man, but I'm just calling a spade a spade. Essentially, if you're really trying to discredit the voices of the American people by saying over 682,000 mail-in ballots should not count in the city of Philadelphia alone, then shame on you. So I understand that maybe, he's probably been accustomed to a certain level of power and a certain level of respect, but people have spoken. You have been part of an election where they have had possibly the highest turnout in history, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, your opponent has had the most votes ever by any presidential candidate. It's the people have spoken. The majority of the country do not wish for you to occupy the Oval Office. Put up your big boy pants. I forgot exactly who said those words.
Philadelphia mayor.
The Philadelphia mayor did say that. He said the president needs to put his big boy pants on and, you know, finally just get to stepping. So I'm not disappointed. I'm actually found this to be hilarious. Because had this been like Showtime at the Apollo, somebody in a clown suit and a stick would probably be getting this man out the whole Oval Office and hooking him with the cane on the side of the stage.
Oh my God. I hope it doesn't come to that January 20th.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully not. But you pretty much, I don't mean to sound like the mean guy, but they pretty much need to bring out the pallbearers on his political career. Just carry that casket. Just on out there.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today, guys. My name is Katie.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Shafalika.
And this has been The Spin. Join us next week.